Have to say when they're talking about getting rid of habeas corpus? What are the tariffs? 10%, 120%? I don't know. Some of them even say it's tyranny.
Let's hop into a town hall with Pete Buttigieg as he seemingly is gearing up for his 2028 presidential bid. We'll have to see for that one to be confirmed or denied, but he is pretty good at the exposing MAGA thing. So if you can't, leave us a like on the video. It helps us out tremendously. We really appreciate it. And let's see what context we can add to this video.
I got libertarian or conservative friends who are against the Clean Air Act. And they actually have, there's a philosophy to this. They don't say they hate clean air, but they are so opposed to the idea of government doing too much that even making sure we can breathe air is it's still too much. Some of them even say it's tyranny. Well, if you think the Clean Air Act is tyranny, what do you have to say when they're talking about getting rid of habeas corpus?
The more into politics I get, the more I understand that a lot of these arguments from libertarians or conservatives are just them trying to use something they think is easier to defend to justify a more indefensible belief. And a lot of those scapegoat answers just became over time, well, tyranny of the government, because, well, the government from a leftist perspective is to provide a baseline of equality and quality of life to all. Like they were just against gay people, right? But it was easier to say, well, the government shouldn't force businesses to serve them or force pastors to marry them because it's government overreach. And that's why we're against it, just for that. Nothing vindicates this belief to me more than watching these same people stay silent as Trump defies free speech, the due process, the Emoluments Clause, the Impoundment Control Act, the federal courts, the Supreme Court at a 9-0 verdict, and discusses suspending habeas corpus. Like, where are you now?
But they change their mind all the time. They just change their mind about tariffs. What are the tariffs? 10%, 120%? I don't know. It's different every day. And I believe that they can be induced to change their mind about this if and only if there is more public pressure for a better policy.
Not only will Trump back down, but MAGA will then tell us that both contradicting positions are true. Like we're supposed to believe that these insane reciprocal tariffs are a good thing and they were strategic and that, you know, it's going to have long-term gain and we just need to wait it out. But then it's also a good thing when he ends them because I guess the long-term gain was never real. And when he pulls them back and we get nothing from it, well, it's still a win. Him firing nuclear workers is a good thing because we have to shrink the size of the government, but then him hiring them back is a good thing too because, well, he's willing to admit his mistakes. Doge is a good thing because they're going to cut $2 trillion. But then when they fail, well, they didn't fail because, well, they cut $63 billion and it's still more than zero, even though it's 99% short of the goal that, well, MAGA was cheering about, that they promised and all of that. There is no consistency. There's no good faith. There's no standards to be held to. The Republican Party has transformed into a cult that just wants their side to look good no matter what, at the cost of their own humility, at the cost of their own quality of life. Like they can never and will never admit culpability or wrongdoing.
Two things. One, that these cuts are wrong. And two, that these cuts are unpopular. Unfortunately, they might actually care more about the fact that they're unpopular than the fact that they're wrong. Since they're both, this is an opportunity to get their attention. We're all here for this town hall. I can't help but notice that I'm not even elected official or running for anything. I'm here. I can't help but notice a lot of people who are elected officials aren't. There's a reason for that, right? They don't want to have to explain this stuff.
Now, I will say Pete should be all the way for real. The odds he doesn't run for president in 2028 is pretty slim. But the point he's making here does still hold. Republican Congress members aren't doing these events for fear of the public backlash. There's no other reason they would be ducking and dodging them at this rate because, well, as long as they avoid them, they can still say it's not real and the backlash doesn't exist. But when they do them, we get the clips, like from every single one they've tried to do, where American people are livid at what they're trying to cut and take from them, rightfully so. And each and every time we have to be told that, well, these are Democrat operatives paid by George Soros. And again, the terminating online MAGA are just going to carry water for them regardless. So why not just lean on them than to get smacked in the face with reality? Because in reality, it's not popular to close Social Security field offices. It's not popular to cut Medicaid that funds half of the births in this country and over 90% of long-term senior care, or food stamps or WIC, or it's not popular to violate due process or free speech, to deport green card visa, student visas for their beliefs. I mean, these are things that everyday Americans care about, worry about, and are upset about. And Trump can only hide behind the cult and the veil of it being Biden's fault for so long. And we're kind of getting to that point.